That's just terrible. That is absolutely terrible. Whoa, that's a crazy building. That's a place I want to visit, like tomorrow. That looks incredible. That is stunning. What is up? Welcome back. Today I'm watching a video titled, "Is Denmark the best country in the world?" I'm an American discovering all about Europe right now. Every single country. The people, the culture, the sports, the history, the food, anything you can imagine. Denmark is a place I actually visited in 2017. You can guess where I went, and it was so beautiful. I was in Copenhagen. It was so stunning. I've already done a few videos on Denmark, discovering Lego and few incredible things just like that. But in this video, I want to know why Denmark is the best country in the world. I post videos every single day, so make sure you hit like and subscribe. We're going to see another one just like this in the future. But now, let's get into it. Let's go.
There are 195 countries on Earth, as recognized by the UN. With literally millions of different variables, how on earth can you definitively select a single country to be subjectively the best in the world? When
Fair
you
enough.
search for best country in the world for X and best country for Y, there are a few select countries which you will see keep reappearing. It tends to be wealthy, peaceful, politically stable countries with high quality of life, usually in Europe.
That's
The
beautiful.
United States could be considered the greatest country in the world, as it is the richest in terms of economy size, has the most powerful military, and is home to most of the world's most successful, powerful, and wealthy companies. The US's influence on the world is like nothing we have seen before in modern times. However, it does fall short in so many different areas. Being a country of this magnitude and population has many drawbacks. The
Fair
US
enough.
ranks poorly in terms of peacefulness, crime, average life expectancy, obesity rates, healthcare, cleanliness, and overall quality of life.
That's just terrible. That is absolutely terrible. This is actually a big reason of why I moved to Europe, was because of all these things. Yeah, it doesn't have a good look. It doesn't have a good look.
When looking at characteristics that determine if a country is great or not, there is one country who often ranks in the top 10, 5, and even number 1. Denmark. The Kingdom of Denmark is bordered by the Baltic and North Seas in northern Europe. It comprises the Jutland Peninsula and close to 400 islands, 80 of which are populated. Denmark is connected to its neighbor.
Wait a second. 400 islands. That is so insane. That is absolutely so insane. I actually heard in another video that the highest point is like 52 kilometers above sea level in the entire country, which is just mind-blowing to me. But it makes sense if it's on the sea. It's a country full of islands.
Neighbor, Sweden, by the Öresund Bridge, and the two countries share many cultural and historical elements, as well as having a very similar language. Denmark has a population of around 5.6 million, and the capital,
I think by the time this video is being recorded, I think it's around 6 million, if I'm not mistaken.
is Copenhagen. Situated on Zealand, it is the most densely populated part of the country, with over 1.3 million inhabitants.
It's so beautiful, by the way. Gosh, it's stunning. This is Nyhavn, something like that.
Denmark is a constitutional monarchy, and the current head of state is Queen Margaret II. Denmark is also a member state of the European Union, but opted out of the euro in favor of its own currency. Its national flag.
Wait, real quick, the kroner. I remember when I was there about this, note, this type of money, but I don't remember the conversion. How does it convert to the euro? Is it a lot higher, a lot lower? How does that work?
Flag is the oldest in the world still in use. At just 43,000 kilometers, Denmark is a very small country. In fact, it is the 130th largest in the world. However, if you include the entire Kingdom of Denmark, which includes Greenland and the Faroe Islands, then it would be the 12th largest. So what exactly makes Denmark
Whoa, that's a crazy building. Is that a ski slope or a golf course? I can't tell what that is.
So great? And could it actually be crowned the best country in the world? Well, first of all, the lifestyle in Denmark is very human orientated, with an emphasis on culture, education, and social programs. All of these factors contribute to a very high standard of living in Denmark. So let's hop over to Numbeo.com, which is a crowdsourced global.
Wait, hold on. Wow, that is so beautiful. Really. I love the colors on the buildings and the ships and everything. It really gives it this special feeling.
in Denmark. So let's hop over to Numbeo.com, which is a crowdsourced global database website. On this website, there are many different rankings and indexes, which can help us to see which countries are the best and worst to live in. So in the traffic index, for example, the lower you score, the better. This particular index takes 3 different variables into account, and Denmark ranks as the 4th best in the world. In the pollution index, which takes into account things like air and water quality, noise and light pollution, and
Oh, that castle's so beautiful.
green space quality, Denmark ranks 7th. So not the best in the world, but sitting comfortably in the top 10. And considering they are competing against 194 other countries, it is in fact a very impressive result. For the healthcare index, Denmark ranks as having the 5th best in the world, only behind Taiwan, a special administrative region of China, South Korea, Japan, and France. And finally, Numbeo ranks Denmark as having the 2nd highest quality of life in the world, only behind Switzerland, which is another contender for the best country on earth.
All right, I gotta stop it. Is this Switzerland or Denmark? Because that's a place I want to visit, like tomorrow. That looks incredible. Oh my gosh.
My opinion. In a recent video, we detailed the most and least corrupt nations on Earth via an index which was created by Transparency.org. Every year, this organisation ranks every nation on Earth. Denmark, alongside New Zealand, ranked as the least corrupt countries on the planet. Every year for the last decade, Denmark has ranked as either the least or 2nd least corrupt nation on Earth, and in 1999 achieved a perfect score of 10 out of 10. When it comes to the Global Peace Index for 2021, Denmark ranks as the 3rd highest in the world, only behind New Zealand and Iceland, 2 very neutral, secluded countries. Denmark is surrounded by many other countries and pretty much in between the UK and Russia, meaning if there ever was a war, and fingers crossed there isn't, Denmark would be slap bang in the middle. As Denmark is part of NATO, this means they could get involved, thus the reason why they do not rank as number 1. Denmark is a relatively wealthy nation. With a population of less than 6 million, of course it can't compete with the likes of France, Germany or the UK, but it does stand its ground very well.
Wait, hold on real quick. Let's pause it right here on the energy sector. I actually watched a video about this energy island they're building in Denmark. It's like this island off the coast somewhere. It's full of windmills and it's just a huge power bank, basically, of power. Have you seen that before? Is that actually a thing? Because I think when that video was recorded, it was already in development or maybe already finished, but I don't know much about, I haven't heard a follow-up. Do you know anything about this?
Stand its ground very well, ranking as the 35th largest economy in the world, above the likes of Egypt and the Philippines, whose populations are roughly 18 times larger and much bigger in terms of country size. If we were to divide their GDP by their population, then we would get their GDP per capita, which comes in at around $68,000, the 7th highest in the world. To no surprise, Denmark ranks as having the 5th highest average salary in the world, only behind Luxembourg, Iceland, Switzerland and the US respectively. Speaking of salaries and careers, which country do you think ranked as having the best work-to-life balance? Yep, you guessed it, Denmark. The key
Wait, hold on, let's look at this list. Denmark, Bahrain, Norway, Czech Republic, New Zealand, Sweden, Costa Rica. Wow, okay, very interesting list actually.
Having the best work-to-life balance. Yep, you guessed it, Denmark. The key indicators used were share of employees working longer than 50 hours per week, time devoted to leisure, and comparing the scores with respect to gender. Now, although Denmark has the best work-life balance in the world, they still managed to rank in the top 10 for best countries for doing business, ranking in 7th place, putting them above the likes of Switzerland, Australia, and Singapore. Additionally, they just make the top 10 for best countries in the world for startups. Being startup friendly allows for creativity, competition, and improves human ingenuity, which in turn...
Wait, hold on. I would like to look at that list. Give me a second.
The top 10 for
US, UK, Canada, Israel, India. Interesting. I feel like Malaysia and India are really popping out to me on this list. That's kind of shocking. I imagine at the time of this recording, Poland is much higher because it is blowing up. Maybe Sweden and Denmark are actually higher too. This is a really, really cool list.
The best countries in the world for startups. Being startup friendly allows for creativity, competition, and improves human ingenuity, which in turn can advance the human race, especially when startups revolve around fighting climate change and using green energy. A recent study by Yale University investigated 180 countries around the world to see who has the cleanest air quality. The index reflects the state of nature, biodiversity.
Oh, that's beautiful. Is this Denmark? That is stunning.
Combating climate change, public health, and the effects of the economy.
Wait, hold on.
To see who has the cleanest air quality. The index
this can't
the
be
state
Denmark.
Of nature, biodiversity.
That's not Denmark. They don't have those mountains.
Diversity, combating climate change, public health, and the effects of the economy on the environment. Denmark, with a score of 82.5 out of 100, ranked as being the best in the world, placing them.
Is that including the Faroe Islands and Greenland? I think that would be my big question, because they're, those are very uninhabited, and those have probably an amazing score. So does that affect it? What about mainland Denmark? Maybe this is about that. If you know, please let me know.
Them above Luxembourg, Switzerland, the UK, and France, respectively. So far, Denmark is ranking extremely high and even winning very important rankings when it comes to analysing just how great a country is. So it comes to absolutely no surprise that the Danes rank as being the second happiest on Earth, only behind Finland.
Really? Finland's number one? That's actually bit shocking to me. Nothing against Finland, but you just don't as a US citizen, I just don't hear about Finland as much as I do Denmark, for example. Wow, Finland's number one. Denmark, obviously number two. Let's see that list one more time. Okay, Finland, Denmark, Switzerland, Iceland. Okay, Netherlands. I would expect this list, honestly. Outside of Finland, I would expect this list. Wow, this is really cool to see. These are all countries I'm discovering, by the way. I've done videos on a lot of these. Still a few more I need to discover, but man, if you're from one of these countries, let me know. Maybe I can check out your country next. I would love to discover. By the way, if you have any video recommendations, make sure you drop those down below. I'm always checking those out, so that'd be great. If you had any more, thank you so much.
Rank as being the second happiest on Earth, only behind Finland. Now, this index doesn't mean that people literally walk around with smiles on their faces all day and do not have problems of their own, but it does factor in many different variables that contribute to a happy, healthy, worry-free life and community. Another list where Denmark features in the top 10 is their education system, ranking as the 8th best in the world. Another interesting index is the Good Country Index. Now, what exactly is the Good Country Index?
That sounds like the most awesome index ever, the Good Country Index.
The Good Country Index measures what countries contribute to the world outside their own borders. And
whoa, okay, that's really cool.
What they take away as well. It's their balance sheet towards humanity and the planet. Denmark just misses out on the top spot, only placing behind their neighbours, Sweden. Now, this next one took us by surprise when looking at their HDI ranking, which is the Human Development Index, which takes into account things like life expectancy, expected years of schooling, mean of years of schooling for education, and gross national income per capita for standard of living. Denmark ranks as number 10, which of course is a fantastic result, but when looking at all of the indexes we've already analysed, we were expecting them to easily make the top 5. It is worth noting, however, Denmark has dropped 6 places over the last few years. Now, this might not be the fact that Denmark is becoming a worse country, but possibly due to other countries improving at a faster pace, and therefore eclipsing the Danes. Now, of course, Denmark, just like any other country.
All right, real quick, sorry, I gotta look at this. This is the Opera House, I believe, in Copenhagen. I remember this. And Nyhavn's just there on the left. Like, Nyhavn's right here. Wow, that's so cool. And the mermaid statue's somewhere like down here, towards the bottom, somewhere over here.
Country in the world is not perfect. For example, they score very poorly when it comes to climate. Not too great for the crime index and life expectancy compared to other nations. Although Denmark doesn't have a particularly bad climate and experiences little to no extreme weather, compared to other countries in Europe like Spain
Whoa.
and Portugal, it falls extremely short. Denmark rank as having the 32nd highest average life expectancy in the world. Again, not too bad.
Okay, 30 okay, I would expect it actually to be higher. Wonder why it's so low actually. 32nd highest.
But considering they are a very well-developed country who top many quality of life indexes, you would expect this to be much higher. But overall,
Yeah.
Denmark does score impressively in so many different categories. It may not be perfect, but it certainly ranks as one of, if not the best countries in the world to live in. If any of our viewers are from Denmark, then please let us know what it is actually like. Thank you.
Let us know. Let me know. That'd be great. My Danish friends, what do you think of this video? Was it accurate? Are there some points that it just completely misses on? I mean, I'm sure if you're Danish and you're watching this, you think to yourself, yeah, we are the best country in the world. I've also heard so many times that it's the happiest country in the world. So I guess that kind of goes right along with best country, at least in my mind. So anyways, this video is super interesting. I learned a lot. I hope you did too. And if you did, make sure you hit like and subscribe. I'm going to keep exploring Denmark and keep exploring these beautiful European countries. I want you to be there right there with me. I got to give a shout out always to my channel members. Thank you so much for being a part of this channel and supporting me on this journey. It literally means so much to me that you are here and joining me. So thank you again, channel members, and I hope to see all of you in the very next video. Cheers.